Fallout 4 Next Gen update is a mess. Who would have expected that from Bethesda?
So right after the Fallout TV show came out, Bethesda decided to launch the next-gen update for Fallout 4.
Now, to be fair, Bethesda was promising the Next Gen update for something like a year and a half prior, but it's Bethesda, so they completely failed at doing it. So it's just kind of lucky that it launched at the same time as the Fallout TV show.
And Fallout, just as a series in the gaming space, has gained a huge resurgence. Player numbers are up across the board from 76 to 4 to New Vegas, you name.
A lot of tourists. That's what's happening. A lot of tourists. People who were watching the Fallout TV show, most of them had no idea what's happening. Again, there are still people who are gonna literally die on the hill that the Brotherhood of Steel is a religious Christian organization that's based and doing Christian things, which is crazy, okay? They're religious zealots, but they have nothing to do with Christianity except for the fact that they're religious zealots, and that's pretty much it. And, well, guess who's playing those games now? With the 80 and 75% discounts. A bunch of tourists. Fallout, as a franchise, boys, is completely dead as we know it.
And yeah, I mean, it's all owed to the TV show that I think they did a really good job on, and that has garnered a lot of success. Now, the next gen up.
Yep, Young. Yes, we know your opinion. The TV show was great, and you can't even name one thing that was great about the TV show that you claim was great, except the fact that it looked like Fallout at times, which is a great review and a very non-shill trusted source in my opinion. Nice.
Update. Unfortunately, for how long it took for it to be made, it does not work as well as it should. I think if you're a console player, overall getting a net positive from it. The console version's next-gen update does.
I heard that this update also, by the way, has completely bricked some hardware usage for people in the game, like DLSS, or, put any 3 random letters in a sequence and there you have a computer thing,
Improve on a lot, but if you're a PC player especially, I would say hold out on updating to the next gen update. It breaks a lot of things and it just doesn't add enough to the PC gaming experience for this to be worth the trouble. So for those who don't know, this next gen update was announced back in 2022, and on December of 2023 they announced that they're going to delay the next gen update to 2024 because they just needed more time to flesh this out, to polish it. And a lot of people thought
By the way, if I'm not mistaken, they pushed back the release date like 4 times because they were not ready, which is hilarious. And for what you're getting from the next gen update, man, that's great.
The delay indicated that this would be a fairly polished update, or just substantial enough for that kind of delay to feel justified. The update went live on April 25th, 2024, bringing with it a new quality and performance mode for the console versions, widescreen support for PC, and some Creation Club content.
The widescreen support for PC, as much as I understand, still doesn't actually work. But that's typical from Bethesda.
And you can find all of that information on the official Bethesda.net website, where they detail all of this, up to 60 FPS and increased resolutions on console for PC player stability, mods, and bug fixes, though the update mostly just broke mods, so on the modding front, people are not particularly happy. And then this is the Creation Club content, some new quests here and there, and some new weapons and skins and armor.
Wow.
Some neat little bits of content here and there that will be nice for those who kind of go back to Fallout. Nothing game-changing. This is still just Fallout 4 with all the good and all the bad. It's still that experience, but, new content is never bad. What is the way this update has been screwing over modders, especially one particular mod.
Oh, hell yeah, I knew we were going to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this. Fallout London. I was excited for this one, by the way.
Known as Fallout London, which is essentially like a custom-made fan Fallout game that takes place in London. It's probably one of the most anticipated Fallout projects, and it's not even official. Like, if you watch this update video right here, the final progress video, and all the detail that they go through in not only making this game, but the kind of content we're seeing here. I mean, this is just straight up a new Fallout game that fans
and it looked pretty good,
decided to make, and it's actually an incredible project that has since been delayed, and that's in large part because this next-gen update came out of nowhere. They were not informed about it, and because this next-gen update breaks mods and changes things, the Fallout London project leads had to delay the project, and they felt screwed over by this, with Bethesda not communicating in any way, shape, or form. There is some information here in this PC Gamer article.
Okay, this is what I love about this, okay? The fucking fact that the people who are making Fallout London are like, why did Bethesda not contact us and talk to us about this? We're modders. We have absolutely nothing to do with the base game, with Bethesda itself. But they should have talked to us because we're important. God, this is why I hate modding to a certain extent, because the people who are modders and constantly use mods and play games just to mod them are kind of fucking entitled pieces of shit so often. And this is one of those situations. The developers of Fallout London, even though I wanted to actually play this, I wanted to see how it goes, because honestly it looked amazing and still have hopes for it. But the fact that they're like, oh, we're disappointed, Bethesda didn't contact us. Yeah, no shit they didn't. Why the hell... Why do you think they should contact you? Huh? Why? Now, granted, because people are pissed about this, maybe Bethesda does something like that, who honestly knows. But still, the idea that that modders are feel so entitled that they think Bethesda should contact them because they're so special and whatnot is insane.
Where the development team sort of relayed their grievances about this. They were supposed to launch on April 23rd, but with the next-gen update coming out on April 25th, they had to hold off on that because, you know, the next-gen update would break the mod just 2 days after its launch.
Yeah, they don't even know what it's going to break, essentially. They have no idea how many bugs it's going to cause. Maybe 1, maybe 1 billion. Who knows?
And yeah, it is just a really unfortunate situation. They have said things like, with the new update dropping just 48 hours later, the past 4 years of our work stand to just simply break. I just wish they had a conversation with us. Just
Yeah.
Give them a heads up, make them
sign it. Just give them a heads up, you know? Actually, give half of your company away to these modders, because why not, you know? Man, it's just so ridiculous. This reminds me of that time when someone tried to, not tried to, but they did. They had DLSS, or what's it called, support for Cyberpunk, or was it Starfield, or it was for one of those games that there was no official support for, and it was a mod. And the modding community wanted to literally lynch that person for daring to do this, because mods should be free. God, I hate the modding community so much to a certain degree. Their entitlement, their feeling of, oh, we deserve everything in the world is just crazy.
An NDA, I'm sure they would have been happy to do that because they understand that, you know, Bethesda runs on their own schedule, but some consideration towards this community that is revitalizing Fallout through this content that is such a substantial addition to the point where it is going to help drive sales. It would be nice for Bethesda.
I don't think it would help drive sales. I think it would not help drive sales at all, in fact.
To have some consideration for that. But beyond that, the next-gen patch also breaks core mods that allows other mods to work, like the Fallout script extender. In an update on Nexus Mods, the creator of the Fallout script extender released the following statement, stating that the latest update has broken Fallout 4 script extender and the rest of the native code modding scene similarly to Skyrim's Anniversary Edition patch. I'm working on an update and cannot currently offer a timeline for its availability, nor whether there will be any critical technical issues that would block an update. If not obvious already, this one is going to take much longer than normal.
Now, you know what?
Email with
Now, you know what's the funniest part about this? Essentially, all mods break whenever Bethesda makes even the slightest bit of a patch. And with, well, the paid cash shop coming to Fallout 4 and whatnot, there's going to be a lot of updates. There's going to be a lot of small tweaks, a lot of things that Bethesda do that they patch now because of everything. So, yeah, have fun with that. Everything's about to break yet again.
Questions. So that's kind of where that's at. And there's this IGN article saying that players have a workaround for this next-gen update breaking this crucial mod. But the workaround is essentially just don't install the update. IGN highlights on the comment section of the Fallout Script Extender Nexus mods page, there are people who are pointing out and sort of guiding people through how they can turn off auto updates and even how to roll back the new update. I want to go back to the vanilla experience that supports all of the mods and just isn't as much of a hassle as the next-gen update currently is. And it'd be one thing if the next-gen update officially fixed a bunch of stuff and really made Fallout 4 a much more polished product, but a lot of people noticed that looking at the bug fix list, it was rather short. This patch, it feels like it
hey, it's a miracle Bethesda even fixed that bug.
Breaks more than it fixes.
It's so typical for Bethesda. They have done this already 1,000 times literally before with all of their games. And people are still surprised. What? Bethesda broke all the mods and didn't fix anything? How could that happen? Said some peanut brain for the 50th time in, the past 1 year. How do people not learn this?
Just not worth what it breaks when it brings so little to the table, and it
is worth. I don't use mods for Fallout 4. It's the next gen update is completely worth for me, by the way. Fuck you. Again, people don't understand how little the modding community is. 99.9% of gamers have never downloaded a mod, and they will never download a mod. Yes, the modding community is pretty big in general, but they're pretty small. Again, the best we did this estimate before. The estimate of people who use mods for Bethesda games could roughly be at absolute peak maximum 2% of the player base. 2% of the player base use mods. Maybe, if we're super generous and lucky. Judging by all the downloads and Nexus mods and all of that shit, blah, blah, blah. But, best case scenario, 2% of the player base use mods. Now, it is a pretty decent number at the end of the day, and that's why it seems like it matters and whatnot. But the reality is, no one uses mods. If you use mods, fine, cool. I have downloaded a mod once, so I'm part of that 2%, but I have never downloaded a mod again. And the reason I downloaded mod was to fix some kind of crash that was happening in New Vegas like 2 years ago or something like that. That's it. Never gonna download anything ever again.
Kind of what a lot of people are upset about. Like, if you're gonna disrupt the modding scene to this degree, this update needed to be worth that. The official updates and fixes and additions needed to be substantial enough to make people go, okay, it sucks that we have to kind of put additional work into updating our mods, but at the very least, these official fixes go a long way. But the stuff here really does not go a long way. And the next-gen update just kind of feels half-baked when widely advertised features like ultra-wide support feel a bit half-assed, where you can see right here from the screenshot that somebody posted, the UI has not been adjusted to compensate for the ultra-wide support. So what you see here is a stretched-out user interface. And then beyond that, there's no FOV slider that allows you to...
Well, has there ever been a Bethesda game with an FOV slider? No, they release games. They know that the first thing everyone's going to complain about is an FOV slider, and they're going to make it in a, month or two. Oh, Bethesda. Literally one of the shittiest companies ever to exist.
to take advantage of the ultra wide support to its fullest. So the feature's just kind of like not working properly, essentially.
Yep.
It just feels like not a whole lot of consideration was put into one of the marquee features that they put out there.
Now, the reason why it feels that there was not a lot of consideration put into this key feature is because there was not a lot of consideration put into this at all. Surprising, I know.
As an element that people would want to get the next-gen update for on PC. And then there's the fact that while for consoles, many people have reported improved graphics and performance, the PC version, in terms of graphics and performance, you're either getting graphics that look pretty similar to what was already there before the next-gen update, or performance that is worse in some cases, people are reporting. So, for example, here is Insider Gaming, who highlighted how in the densest areas of the game, the frame rate is still experiencing drawbacks. The next-gen update is supposed to optimize all of that, but graphics and performance optimization just isn't at its best with the PC version of the game. And then beyond that, there's some issues with PlayStation.
On the other hand, when has it been good for Bethesda? Never. That's kind of the key takeaway here. I mean, again, we have lived through this shit for 20 plus years now, people, and you're still expecting it to change for some reason. How can you be this dumb? Bethesda will literally never care. Todd Howard is a liar. Stop living in the Matrix, the dreamscape. I'm running out of funny ways to say different world. Stop. This was never going to be good in the first place. And anyone, again, how for 20 plus years, Bethesda has never delivered on any of this crap. They have just made things worse on average. And people are like, "Oh man, the big Bethesda patch wasn't that good," said for the 50th time this day. Someone, it's crazy. It's just pure craziness how people do not get the message.
PlayStation Plus subscribers, where those enjoying Fallout 4 on PlayStation Plus aren't eligible for the upgrade everyone thought was free. There's a price tag attached. Yeah. Apparently, this is some kind of bug or technical issue that Bethesda is already working on fixing. They've already addressed this and tweeted about this, stating that they're working to fix this problem. And then for Steam Deck users, they're experiencing this weird issue where for some reason their settings are being wiped out by the update. So it just feels like for a next-gen update that's supposed to enhance the Fallout 4 experience, there's just a lot of hassle and inconveniences that one has.
Well, it definitely is, going in the direction of enhancing your post-apocalyptic pain of living. That's true.
To go through, and then on top of that,
think of it as not a graphical update, but a role-play update.
People were hoping that with the PC version of the game, Bethesda would allow people to up their frame rate, that the update would essentially add native support for higher frame rates beyond 60 FPS. But as it turns out, this next-gen update still doesn't support frame rates over 60 FPS, including on the PC version. That's something that you have to unlock unofficially, which is kind of rather ridiculous for a next-gen update in 2024. And then there are some graphic settings that's causing the PC version of the game to crash. The weapon debris graphic setting apparently still causes the game to crash on RTX cards, an issue that has been present since RTX cards were introduced. So some of the biggest technical issues and bugs surrounding Fallout 4 have not been fixed with this next-gen update. And then for the Xbox version of Fallout 4, there's apparently a problem where quality mode for the game is kind of broken. Disabling performance mode doesn't do anything as the game stays at 60 FPS and the resolution remains the same. This does not appear to be happening on PlayStation. Basically, quality mode on Xbox Series X and S just straight up does not work. It does not activate currently. It may very well be that over time, but
anyone else just constantly checking out the ads Yonga is getting, honestly, because that's more interesting than listening to someone being surprised that Bethesda is doing a shit job.
It does not activate currently. It may very well be that over time Bethesda will work on fixing a lot of this stuff, but this should have been a functional working update from the outset, especially with the delay. And I don't know, part of me gets the feeling that they just wanted to time this update release with the Fallout TV show. So even though they knew that this update needed more honing and optimizing, especially on PC, they still decided to push this
Wow. This is the first smart thing Yongya has said. Obviously, they're gonna push out the next gen update when the TV show hits. Wow. Again, they were pushing it back so much because, well, they failed. The obvious thing is they failed. Then they were getting so close to the release of the TV show that they thought, well, you know what? Let's just release it at the TV show. And the developers will, are you kidding me? This shit doesn't even work. We're still like 10% ready. And then they just pushed it out anyway through the door. Again, Bethesda is incompetent in every way that you can be incompetent. It's great.
Out as a big marketing push for the game, and to be fair, it actually did work. Fallout 4's Steam concurrent player numbers are pretty insane right now. Since the release of the show, we have seen this game peak at 164,190 concurrent players in the last 30 days. We have not seen player numbers that high since essentially launch, since December of 2015. But these are players who are going to be experiencing a lot of the technical issues highlighted by various news reports.
Those people are not going to experience shit. They're not going to experience any of these problems. The average person doesn't care about these problems to begin with. They're not going to have to deal with mods breaking because they don't know what a mod is. Most of those people are probably tourists. That's literally it.
Who have tested out the next-gen update, who'll be experiencing a lot of bugs that haven't been fixed by the next-gen update. Modders got slapped in the face by the surprise nature of this next-gen update release and have to work to update their mods. And
oh no, the poor modders. Anyway, Young, shut up. Do the outro, do the outro.
Stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time.
Woo! Young out. Ah, boy. Got it. Perfection at its finest. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said, and that was Young, everyone's favorite communist. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.